Tell me, what can you see?
I see absolutely no point in being here.
I see that we are about 3 hours before we slingshot around Titan, and I see a warning light here.
Hi, Jonathan. Congratulations on winning the 11 Second Club for this month. I love your animation. It looks really cool. My name is Nicole Hare. I'm a freelance character animator and senior mentor here with Animation Mentor. My work experience, I've covered a lot of different things: films, games, television. Most recently, I was an Imagineer with Walt Disney Imagineering. So let's take a look together and see your animation.
Tell me, what can you see?
I see absolutely no point in being here.
I see that we are about 3 hours before we slingshot around Titan, and I see a warning light here.
Yeah, I love that. One of the things that I really love is that you went traditional and you didn't do the computer animation. What's nice about this is it opens up anything. So you can do anything that you want because you've gone with traditional animation. So the drawing style is super fun. Going in there, I like the little details that you're putting in here as he's listening. You're not animating the character who's talking right now. You're animating the character who's out there listening. So nice facial expression there. The one thing that I would do, looking at this, that drawing looks very similar to right in there. It feels like you're sort of rocking and rolling on the hands. So what I might actually do is here, when he rocks and rolls, because this arm here is getting pretty close. Let's see if I can, right here, this one is actually getting pretty close, and it's feeling a little pulled in and a little pinched, considering that he's wearing this big, bulky spacesuit. So when you do that, maybe instead of just pulling that arm back, maybe you rotate this thing a little bit, because there's no reason to say that this arm here, maybe this hand can start up a little higher to get that grip off of being twinned. So if you start that up a little bit higher, maybe pull that thumb in just a little more than you've got, then what you can do is you can pull this elbow down just a little bit. So the elbow would get hidden behind this, and you'd hide how that elbow's working, and then you're there. So it just opens up things just a little bit more at the beginning. So I'm going to black this guy out. So you just open up that arm just a little bit more by pulling it up. It also gets that hand off of that twinned pose. All right, and you've already shown that he can move that around a little bit, so why can't he rotate it? Or at least slide his fingers up and down. All right, and then you come here, and we're sort of losing that other hand. So the other benefit of having that hand up high is when you're doing all of this action, then that hand, you're still getting a little bit of a grip up here. All right, and you're not having to go, hey, where did my elbow go down here? All right, so it just solves a few other problems. All right, and he's in there. I like that he pulls off there and there. I get why you're doing this big action, but one of the things that you want to always think about in space shots is that to help show scale, you need to slow down the movement. So a really good show that really, I think, accentuated the slow space to show the scale was actually Babylon 5, a really old television series. But there's no reason you can't start this shot on a pose a little bit more like this one. So this would be, say, your start frame, which it does cut off a lot. So right now you're at 103 as your start. and allowing it to start, maybe not this far. Let's back up a little bit. So maybe we take the pose, the world pose that you've got here. All right, I'm just going to draw the top line here. So we've got our top line. We've got him. And with his, he's up here sort of posed at the beginning of your shot. All right, but if we take that pose here at 138 and we pull it back to the beginning here, move that guy out of the way. So if we pull it back, let's just get rid of that one. Okay, it's not letting me do it, but if we basically take that pose and we pull it back so that instead of it's starting as far over as it is right now, if we take it and we pull it forward so that we're already there and still finish where we are finishing, you'll get a slower overall feel. You're still going to get this character doing all this action. He's just going to do it all over there. And you'll get also the other person in the cockpit doing her thing. A slower pan will make the ship feel bigger. All right, it's all about really getting in there and making sure that the world feels larger. So we'd actually be starting with the planet there, and then we'd be finishing with the planet here over the course of the shot. You're still getting a pan. You're just making it slower, which makes it feel more like you're in space. You're still getting to see this guy tumble or begin to tumble out. All right, and fortunately, she's in silhouette. So you're getting, for her, you're just having to get in and put a little bit of motion, maybe a little head turn, something simple on her, but enough to really get in there and see what she's doing. All right, and get what he's doing too. And then we get in here. I love this. I think that that's really cool. Overall, a nice reaction. She sees the button go, and then we get him going, but she's stopping. So don't kill her off here at the end. Keep a little bit of extra life. She's she doesn't need to do a lot. Maybe she reaches down a little bit more to get to that button. Maybe she blinks, you get a head turn. But right now you've got her 272 to 314. That's a lot of frames. She basically is stopping moving for a couple seconds. So you want to keep your character alive through the entire process. But overall, I think it's reading really, really nicely. Let me turn up the volume and look at the dialogue.
Tell me, what can you see?
I see absolutely no point in being here.
Yeah, I like that. I think that that's working really nicely.
Tell me, what can you see?
I see absolutely.
Great graphic shapes on the mouth. It's really nice. And you're being aware of the volume that his head is in, which is nice. Threw in a quick blink. Might throw in here when he comes back a little bit more of a squint in there. Just, you're hinting at it, but I think you can push it just a little further on that.
Tell me, what can you
But I
see?
think your dialogue,
I see absolutely no point in being here.
I think for the amount of keys that you've put in there, I think your dialogue's actually reading really well. All right.
I see that we are about...
And then we get that. That's really nice. I love the big arcs that you've got on him. And I like that you've thrown in, like this little details, little things, keep your characters alive and the world alive. I think that that's really cool.
I see that we are about 3 hours before we slingshot around Titan, and I see a warning light here.
All right, yeah. Looking at her.
3 hours before we slingshot.
Same note on her. I think that the dialogue for the number of keys that you're putting in for the dialogue, I think is working really well.
3 hours before we slingshot around.
You're really pushing the F in before. That's nice.
3 hours before we slingshot around Titan.
But I'd love to see here just, like maybe one eye blink. You don't need much, but, just one eye blink. Super simple.
Slingshot around Titan, and I see a warning light here.
Yeah, and I really, she just sort of dies. It's like all of a sudden, yes, I get it, where you want the audience to be looking at the guy just sort of tumbling off into outer space. But I just, don't kill her. Don't kill your character on screen. Let your character live a little bit more on screen.
Before we slingshot around Titan, and I see a warning light here.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Just keep her alive. Blink. Little extra motion on the hand. Maybe she's like, if you want her not to be looking at him, she's like, oh, I see a warning light here. Oh, maybe it's something else. Maybe she's looking at all the little knobs and dials that are happening around her. You can give her some keep alive where she's really not paying attention. All right. And then the only other thing that I would say is, maybe he's flung this, let this thing go faster. So maybe it's actually basically exiting frame. I love the silhouette you end him on. I think that that's great. But he's got one speed, but let's say his speed is maybe 3/4 the full speed of this one. So he's full, and this one's 3/4 because he's thrown it. All right. Allow your characters to exit frame. It's okay to have that happen. All right. But overall, I really love this. And as I said, I love the fact that you went traditional. Traditional is, for the amount of time that you guys have to animate on this, I'm really actually very happy to see the amount of work that you put into this, because it looks really good. All right, so really nice silhouettes and just a really fun animation, and you did a lot with a little, which is really nice. So congratulations on winning this month's 11 Second Club. I think that overall it looks really good. There are just a couple little things that, especially that second shot with the spaceship, I'd slow that down. But overall, I think that it looks really, really nice. So good job, congratulations, and keep going.